Earthquake and volcano warning amid melting ice sheets. Geologists are saying Earth is going to bite back. That's because the ice sheets suppress volcanic and tectonic activity. Earthquakes and volcanic activity could be reawakening by the melting of large glaciers pressing down on the Earth's crust. This is by Charlie Piptuck. The Earth's ice sheets melting at record speeds. Data released by the World Meteorological Organization on the day of COP26, the UN Climate Summit in Glasgow, showed a record low level of sea ice. The Arctic sea ice is melting rapidly before slowing down in August. Rain fell for the first time ever for several hours at the Greenland Ice Sheet Summit in August. Air temperatures were above freezing for 9 hours as temperatures soared all across the world. The period between 2015 and 21 is set to be the 7 warmest years on record, and sea levels have increased by 4.4 millimeters every year in the last 8 years due to the loss of the ice mass from glaciers and ice sheets. And it's showing no signs of slowing down either. And right now, as things are going on, the west coast of Canada is flooding. Now, the immense weight of an ice sheet causes part of the crust beneath it to sink, much like if you place pressure on a tube of toothpaste. And when you put pressure on the toothpaste, it lowers, and when you release the pressure, it rises again. The last ice age is still quietly affecting everything we see and know today, including our Earth's surface. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. The enormous ice sheets, which are of course thousands of feet thick, including the Laurentide ice sheet, the Cordilleran ice sheet, and many more, their weight displaced the crustal rock beneath and causes the malleable mantle of our Earth to deform and flow out. And in this way, it changes the Earth's shape in the process, as other areas would rise to make up for the sinking beneath the ice sheets, like with a tube of toothpaste. And we're going to see which areas, for example, in Europe are sinking and which are rising. Scotland was among those places to sink, while much of England's coastline would rise in areas called four bulges. Land that had previously been weighed down is now rising up in a process known as isostatic rebound. So when the ice is off, it's like when you're holding a ball or a balloon, and when you take your hand off, the balloon comes back up again. So that's what happens here to the land. Land that had been previously weighed down is now rising in a process known as isostatic rebound. Bones of an ancient whale were found on a raised beach in Norway that's now 40 meters above sea level. That's about 120 feet above sea level. Scotland as well is rising. England, in the meantime, is gradually sinking into the North Sea. And that reminds me, there's a prophecy that St. Patrick of the Irish said that in the end times, Ireland would be sinking. That's one of his prophecies. But anyway, going back to this, in parts of Alaska, new land is emerging. Well, we know Alaska, of course, has magma underneath. There's just full of volcanoes there. So, of course, it's building up and it's emerging. In the meantime, New York articles in 2009 reported that a family was able to build a 9-hole golf course on land that had emerged from the sea in Alaska. As the Earth rebounds, though, it could reawaken dormant earthquakes and volcanoes. This is according to a study published in 2008 in the journal Earth and Planetary Science Letters. Earthquakes are typically found near plate boundaries. However, large interplate earthquakes are occurring far from present-day boundaries, including the magnitude 5.8 earthquake in Virginia back in 2011, or on the series of the New Madrid earthquakes that rocked the United States in the 1800s. The downward pressure on tectonic plates is released without the presence of a large glacier, So pre-existing faults could reactivate because they're free to roam around. Now, Eric Evans told the Smithsonian Magazine in 2015, the burden of the glaciers was keeping smaller earthquakes from releasing tectonic stress. Scientists believe that the New Madrid earthquakes occurred in an area where hot molten rock beneath the Earth's crust had once tried to burst through, but was unable to do so due to the weight of the ice sheets that were once there. And we know that we had an earthquake in 4 magnitude and 2.5 an hour later in the area of Missouri, and just today. And that's on the New Madrid seismic zone. So, now that the ice sheets have melted, the mantle can bubble up once more. So, both isostatic rebound and past tectonic activity play important roles in the intraplate earthquake seen in parts of Canada and the United States. So, if existing ice sheets, such as the one covering Greenland, continue to melt, it could cause, of course, more earthquakes. Adria Hempel, University of Hanover Geological Institute, warned back in 2010 that future ice loss may trigger earthquakes of immediate to large magnitude if the crust underneath the molten ice cap continues fault-prone to failure, contains a fault prone to failure. That means to break. Professor Bill McGuire told the Guardian Science podcast in 2012, these earthquakes will not occur in the immediate future. He said, not by the end of this century. No, he said. But he warned if we don't act very soon, then the Earth is going to bite back with a real vengeance over the next 70 to 100 years, is what he believes. Research published in 2007 in the Geophysical Journal International found a link between melting ice sheets and outflows of magma from the Earth, although the reason why one causes the other remains unclear. But Iceland has suffered severe major volcanic eruptions in recent years, which is unusual for the area. Well, okay, severe earthquakes because of the fact that it's on a hotspot. It's a volcanic hotspot. It's a mantle plume there. Now, the study detailed in the 2006 book Iceland Geodynamics suggests glaciers had suppressed volcanic activity there. The ongoing melting, the study said, is 20 to 30 times more likely to trigger volcanic eruptions in areas such as Iceland and Greenland. And this is on the Express UK by Charlie Pittock. Please leave your comments about this. Thank you for your support. This is a little bit of Iceland's mantle plume. As you can see, it's a hot spot. It's on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. It's on the northern area of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, right on top of it. And of course, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is all magma underneath. North American plate, Eurasian plate, and this is it, Iceland right there. Let's take a closer look. Mid-Atlantic Ridge splitting Iceland and separating the North American and Eurasian plates. The map shows Reykjavik right there, the capital of Iceland, the thin valley area, the locations of some of Iceland's active volcanoes in red triangles. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I'm trying to find the Jökull volcano, but I don't know where it is. They don't have the names of them. Okay. So it's on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Obviously, it's going to have volcanic earthquakes and eruptions because we have a lot of large earthquakes on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge anyway, around 5, 5.5, 4.5. I don't report on them, but I do see them from the north to the south. It's just that nobody really reports them because nobody lives near there. So please leave your comments and thank you for your support.